Hello, welcome back to the channel. Not a lot to report today, but I'll throw a little bit of food in there just for something interesting. Yeah, and if any of you are wondering why my fish are so beautiful and colorful and always appear well fed, this is the staple I use. I also feed them beef heart, bloodworm, shrimp, and krill, but this is the staple, and this is what gives them the color. And the fish who choose to eat this grow like bad weeds, so I highly recommend it. It's cheap and it works and they love it. And it's not dirty. When you put it in the water, it stays intact and it floats around. So it doesn't break down and it sort of floats mid-level in the water, which is what the discus like, the older ones anyway. It will sink to the bottom eventually, but it doesn't break down, and it's a different color than my substrate, so they find it easy. They eat it all, every last scrap. So very good food. And they don't pay me or give me anything for free. Nobody gives me food for free. So I'm just putting that out there because it's cheap, it's effective, and you don't have to pay $50 a bottle for your food. Actually, this big huge one cost me about 25 bucks, and it'll last me three plus months. If I buy the small bottle, the $9 bottle lasts me a month, and this got like 3 times the amount in it. So you save a bit of money with the bulk, not a lot, but you'll see they all love it. And they're all back to eating it. The sick guys didn't want to eat it. They're even still being reluctant. They're not sick anymore. We got good color everywhere now. But I'm just got to get weight back on a couple of them. And finally, the one that was refusing to eat even yesterday has begun to go after these now. So everybody's well healed. I'm still gut loading them with meds for now. Every third day, because it takes about 3 days for eggs to hatch. So I've cleaned their guts out, but there could be remaining eggs, so I hit them every third day, and I will do that until I see everybody behave properly, and I won't quit before then, and then they're going to be perfectly fine. Now this, whatever they had, was incredibly hard to kill, but we didn't lose anybody, and we're defeating it. Knock on wood, because sometimes these things can go south real fast on you out of nowhere. But that's kind of just the way it goes. That's where we're at with these discus. Now I've got a pair in the breeding tank. I could try and show them to you, I suppose, but I'm trying to leave them alone because they're still kind of pissed off from being netted yesterday. And it takes them a little while sometimes to get over that and acclimate in a new tank. I just gave them fresh water, so they're probably pissed off from the water change, but I decided to clean them up just to make sure. Now here's the breeding station, and I've got them up here this time. I usually put them down here, but this black silicone seems to be a problem with the babies. This one's got normal white silicone, so we're gonna start putting them up here. And I figure if it's higher, maybe they won't feel as interrupted when I walk by. I also have this background with trees and stuff for them. Feel a little safer, and there they are. So you can see them backing up because they're still a little nervous. System down here is doing great. I've got these two tanks here dark and blacked out because I just trying to got a little bit of algae issues. Again, this whole system is about a month old, so phosphates are probably high. I do lots of water changing. It's just part of the whole aging a system, and I've done everything to rapidly cycle this tank with cycled media, these tanks with cycled media and everything else. But you know, we're dealing with the stages of algae like you would with any new setup, and I'll just stay at war with it. I can't put plants really in these tanks, although I'm really considering lighting up a barrel and throwing a bunch of plants in there. Fast growing stuff. That's probably going to happen soon, just to just to give this algae something to compete with, and then it'll stop happening. There's only a couple tetras in there right now and a big apple snail, and this one's basically just shut down and holding water. I should fill it right up, but yeah. And I'm going to put a sponge filter in there just to keep it rolling. But there's no other gear for this tank right now because I basically scavenged everything out of it for the new tank. And for those who haven't already seen it, this is the new tank. It's my Oscar tank, as you can see, set up with all cycled media. It's only been here a few days. Fish are loving it. Very clear already. I just added this UV in. And I took that UV. I had 2 UVs in the discus tank because, you know, I was in the whole overkill filtration mode all year because that tank needed to age. And it was like, I didn't have any previously cycled gear when I set that tank up, so it took a while to age, to be quite honest. But here, let me get that light. It looks much nicer like this. But this is definitely my all-time and my whole life favorite tank. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Can't get enough of it. Looking at a new Oscar that might need some rehoming. And it'll be an older male. Should be on a larger size because he's over 2 years old. So he should actually be older than Bertha. And he's like, I think they call him the bumblebee ones. He's got like the red and black stripes. Good looking fish. Don't know if I'm going to get him. He's kind of the next town over. They've had him posted for a while. They seem desperate to want to get rid of him. They're asking money, looking for a good home. I think they're going to figure out that they just need to get him a good home soon. And I let them know that I'm here. Showed them my Oscar setup, and should they decide to just want to rehome him, let me know. I just I wouldn't mind paying for him if I was rich, but I'm not, so no. From what I've seen and heard from the people who tried to sell this big one, no one wants to take on an older Oscar. So hopefully they come to that realization and get a hold of me tonight. They finally replied last night, so I'm hopeful. And like I said, they've been looking to rehome him for over a month, and he's having violence issues. He's not getting along with the other fish in his tank, which was what was going on with this white one up here when I took him in. So if I get him, I will put him here, and these 2 guys will get moved out. I might leave one of them behind. I'll probably just move the smallest one out. And then this tank will be done. We're just going to keep them in it. But the only reason I'm considered taking them in is, although this one is getting big, I mean, he's nice, I think she needs an older male, and he could take another 8-9 months before he's ready. The one that's swimming with her right now. So I'd like to get one that's a male that's just a little older than the one I'm looking at. He's got the fin of a male, so I believe he is a male. And it appears from the picture that it's a situation where they have a fish getting aggravated because the tank might be too small, and he's with another fish. So, and I think, and by the looks of them, they look related, which would make them fight as well. and they're both the same sex. So what this other fish needs is a larger tank and more Oscars. You got 2 Oscars in a small tank, that's what you get. They'll just rip each other apart. And I think that's what they're dealing with. That's what they're concerned with. So hopefully they decide that they just like them to have a good home and send them this way so the violence stops. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Just can't get enough of this tank though. Look at how nice that is. And I just put the UV in, so it's going to be so much nicer tomorrow. Oh, and for those who've been following, the bulb thing. I bought new bulbs. The new bulbs I bought are longer than the 9-watt bulbs. Although they were sold as 9-watt bulbs. And I had compared them to the 13-watt bulb and it was the same. When I changed the bulb on this the other day and put my new ones in, I realized that these bulbs are longer by at least an inch, maybe an inch and a half. So, and they light up just fine. And the little light on the bottom looks brighter, but that could be because the bulb is longer, so it's closer. But definitely more distance on the bulb, which is a good thing. So maybe that's why they were trying to advertise these lights as 13-watt lights, but they work just fine in these 9-watt units. Not an issue. Lighten up fine. So anyway, I moved one from the discus tank down here because there wasn't enough flow in this corner. And I needed a jet to push I got the top one pushing across the tank. I needed a jet to push into the corner and stir up the poop that was collecting down here. And I also needed coverage down here because this one, the first 2 only really suck stuff up. The bottom one's just moves around, has some beneficial bacteria crap in it. So this way we're getting almost full coverage from top to bottom on suction and picking up poo. What was happening without this in here is I was getting a collection over here on this side of detritus. Once I plugged this in, the jet came across and it just picked up all the poo, kept it up in the air, sucked it in here, sucked it up there, and anything that went higher got sent all the way down to the other side to get dealt with by the hang-on back or the overflow. So I feed them on this side of the tank anyway. So yeah, that's what we've done. It just felt like I needed more filtration. And the discus tank is so dialed in right now that I don't think 2 UVs is the one unit's enough. It doesn't need the 2. I don't think so. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens, but I think I was safe to pull that out and bring it down here. It's not really going to affect my cycle any. And yeah. So now we got a UV on this end of the downstairs system with all the tanks linked in. This is the end tank. Well, it's around the corner. It's the last tank in the sequence. And the first tank in the sequence also has a UV in it as well. Although that one's meant for ponds and this one's meant for tanks. So that's where we're at for today. And I took the pot scrubby off the top of the weir, which made things quieter and brought the water level down just a tad, which helps hide the blinding light that was coming off the edge of those lights. So probably lost a couple gallons, but oh well. That blinding light was a problem for the camera. It's a little better now. It's not the best, but that's what we'll do. Those lights are meant for smaller tanks, but I just bought 2 of them and put them in here because they just fit this tank right. It's kind of hard to get a good light for longer tanks. And like the 4-foot ones will get you up to 54 inches, I think. This is 60 or 60, yeah, somewhere around 60-inch tank. And 5-footer. So, and lights this long just start to get really dumb expensive. So I was better off buying 2 of those. And And they're suction cup submersible, so you put them in your tank, and that's how they work. Pretty nice light. They don't produce a lot of algae. They weren't in my other tank because I had them central, but now they're up against the glass. They produced a little bit where you see the bright light up there. I'll just keep cleaning it until it stops happening. But that's my phosphates are probably a little on the high side, but the rest of the parameters are just fine. So just a lack of plant life, really. And we'll solve that as time goes on. She's just all over the place now. She even swims around fast sometimes. She's getting used to it all. Has space for once in her life. And that will be her new norm. I just want to thank you all for watching. We are hammering through the watch hours, folks. So, effort's paying off. We're down into the last 500 and something hours. So I'm going to keep plugging away. I pardon my extreme frequency of videos, but it seems to be what you need to do to push yourself past that threshold, and that's what we're doing. I hope you all have a great evening. We'll catch you on the next one.